YouTube, what's good? I have to do this video. I've been wanting to do this video for a long time. I didn't realize that there was actually film of this game out there. But this is on, I found this film on Slim Ghost channel randomly. I was searching for something completely different. This popped up and I wanted to get this film room to you. This is going to be Fancy versus Clef, and this is the Madden 25 Zero Chill Challenge. So if you guys remember back to Zero Chill was kind of very similar to the state of the game in its current state. Maybe not so far swung the other direction that it is now, but there was a lot of zero AP abilities. For the most part, you were playing with 99 speed players. So this was kind of in-game Madden. It just happened to be in the Zero Chill event. Now, that being said, the reason I wanted to do this film room and the reason I wanted to break this game down so much is this was Fancy really kind of running a lot of the same stuff that he ends up running in the MCS playoffs versus Clef, who this was Clef's going to go on to win the Zero Chill event for his first ever belt. And this was a matchup that we could have potentially gotten in the MCS playoffs, I believe in the semifinal. And Clef ended up kind of losing in a pretty bad way to TJ, in the sense of just he didn't really he kind of got screwed by the game. I think he dropped like 7 interceptions in that game. I did a whole breakdown on that. So that being said, this is a great matchup because Fancy was the most dominant player in Madden 25 by far, and pretty much by all accounts had the best MCS season ever. But this was a game where we kind of saw some of the weaknesses of Fancy's game, and we also saw some of the strengths of Clef's offense. So a lot to learn from this breakdown. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. And this is off of Slim Ghost's YouTube channel, which I will leave a link to in the description. Big fan of Slim, love what he's doing over there. And Gulags, I'm sure, going to be back for Madden 26. So let's just real quick break this down. So what Clef was doing is he was basing out of a 3-4 odd where we could send potentially 6 off the edge, could send 4, could also send like that. But normally it was really the 6-man. And then he was primarily going to do a coverage that actually gives me a lot of trouble, because I run this Eagles offense as well. And this coverage that he was running against Fancy is actually something that, shocker, I actually played kind of a similar coverage today. And this was giving me some trouble. So essentially, we'll just let the first play go and kind of see the first drive. But Fancy is in the Eagles offense. He does have Baker Mayfield at the quarterback position, who has the best release in the game. He's going to start out with a jet touch pass. Notice when Clef reads that, he switch sticks here or switches to this guy, and he's going to run down and shoot it himself. As you see, he shoots it, but not able to make the tackle in the backfield. And Fancy is going to get 4 yards. And so Fancy's going to be setting that up to run the fake later on in the game in a key situation, kind of seeing what Clef's plan is to stop that. And then Fancy's going to go to this play right here. So one of the real cool things about the way that Fancy kind of plays the game is he's going to be very strategic, very calculated, and most importantly, very systematic. When he plays a defense like this, the main route that he's going to try to hit is this speed out against man coverage. One of the best ways to block this blitz is blocking your tight end. And then here he actually puts his running back on a seam streak, or a running back streak, and then a backside corner. Okay. Now he might motion this running back out. We'll kind of see how this goes. He probably will motion him out. He is going to motion him out, and he has him on now a speed out. So essentially, Fancy is anticipating that this is going to be a cover 0 look. And so this can beat cover 0. Every route can beat man coverage well. And so let's see what Clef ends up going to. So as you see here, we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was kind of the main pressure that Clef was going to employ. But notice what he does with his coverage on the back side of this. You're going to see here that this player is actually in a mid-read. And I don't know what his user is in, obviously, until he switches off, but this is a mid-read. And then take a look on the outside. You're going to get these soft squats, or you're going to get clouds on the outside. So you basically get a cover 2 look on the outside, and then he's got these inside quarters, which are really, really good. This might be a deep half on the right-hand side here, but basically a cover 2 look off of send 5. So essentially just picture DB Fire 2. Notice Clef switch sticks onto the corner route because that is going to get open. Fancy does a good job, though, of kind of taking his check down here because, as you see, this yellow zone really bailed fast. So Fancy's going to check down to this drag and got a high-low in the middle of the field on that yellow zone. So we'll see kind of how this back and forth goes. But in general, you learn a lot just from kind of my studies on the game. You learn a ton in the first couple of like plays in terms of what they're going to do, how they're going to play. So here, Fancy's going to quick hike. As you see, Clef again going to send 5. So pretty much basing out of this. And then take a look at the shell. This is super, super important to me to show. So you get a hook curl, cloud, cloud, quarter. Again, kind of looks like a quarter, probably not a deep half. In this year's game, you really don't see deep halves. You see inside quarters because they do a better job at guarding seam streaks. And then notice what Clef does with his user. Most of the time, people that run normal wild close religiously, they're going to run it with their tight end to the wide side of the field. What this does is it's going to give him space to hit this seam streak here. This guy is not as big of a seam streak threat as this guy is. But what Clef is able to do is with his blitz setup, he's actually going to do what's called moonwalking or manually pressing the tight end. I believe you do that by left trigger and X on PlayStation, probably left trigger and A on Xbox. Anyway, he's going to basically manually bump him, and essentially what that's going to do is it's going to really limit this throw, which is one of Fancy's main things. So you're going to see here, and you see here, Fancy has to set up protection every time because of this blitz threat. So he can't just send 5 out all game. But Fancy is going to do a good job. Real quick, check this out. You see here, he sends 5 out. Again, I would assume that Clef has the tight end manned up, but not 100% sure. And you're going to see here that he hits left trigger and A to kind of latch this guy onto the tight end. And then from there, he's going to switch stick off. So really the throw is right here. So it's a good job by Clef of reading that and then kind of midpointing this corner. And you'll see he's going to actually rob it. Again, Fancy makes the right read here, throws the flat, but here's the kicker. That flat route only ends up getting him about 2 yards. Right, you're not going to be able to make a living on 2-yard throws. Most people aren't disciplined enough to take that. So again, you're just getting a lot of kind of the core structure, the core strategies of the game. And again, this was probably my favorite game of the year. I looked for this game so much, and I did not realize that Slim had put this on his YouTube. I've literally been looking for this film all like for the last several months. But anyways, because I really wanted to break this game down for you guys. So, okay, we're gonna get PA snag here from Fancy. Again, you kind of see here, why is this the route combo? Because one of the normal route combos here would be a streak and a corner, but he inverts it, Fancy does. The reason that Fancy's going to invert this is because he's going to get this streak, and then this corner is deeper, so this corner is going to clear a cloud, so you've got to throw right there. If Clef switch sticks here, then you're going to be able to check down here, right? And then you still kind of have this backside high-low. Now, again, one of the factors is that Fancy is going to be sending 5 into the pattern. See if he shows us the pass protection here. He does not on this play. Play action is going to get yelled at with this send 5. So as you see here from Clef, and again, pretty similar adjustments every single time, right? Little hook curl here. Looks like a quarter, looks like a cloud, looks like a cloud, looks like a quarter, and then a manual bump. And he's consistently getting this. So you see here, look at the tight end. He's going to get manned up. Now, again, once Clef kind of makes that manual press, he switch sticks off of him, eliminates the tight end, and he's going to basically try to get this check down. Once again, Fancy makes the right read. That corner backs up. He pretty much has to throw the ball there just because this side of the field is really not open because of the pressure. So he has to throw the ball over here into the spot. He does. And does kind of one of those crazy dives that we see at this point of the year. Not really something you see anymore from that dive. But anyway, gets a couple yards. So now we got a 3rd and 4 situation. So again, just so much we can learn on the first drive because it's where you see kind of the core defensive strategy. So this situation, you're going to see that Clef does something interesting. On this play, he actually blitzes the middle linebacker who had been in a hook curl, and he sends 5 this way. The reason for that is because you cannot put this linebacker on a hook, a vert hook. You can only put him on a hook curl. and a vert hook is going to get out to the sideline a little bit more. What Clef is anticipating is either a zig or a backward zig. Either way, you kind of need a vert hook. So you take care to look on the left side. You're going to see that this linebacker actually does end up flatting him, which is kind of an interesting decision. I'm not sure why he did that necessarily. But here on the backside, you get kind of the same coverage we've been seeing. You get cloud, inside quarter, man up, hard flat here, and then probably a cloud, I'm guessing, on this outside. And you see cloud, cloud, and then you got this. Now, what Clef does for the first time is he actually stays here, and he's going to switch. He's going to manually bump and then get off and try to lurk this underneath. So again, this is the throw. This is the easy first down. Here, Fancy doesn't want to take this throw. He wants to take this throw over here, which if you look here, what Clef has done is he kind of lurked underneath, and then he switched it here, and he's going to bite on this in route. He obviously has a touchdown over the top, but he's getting pressured, and so a lot of this game comes down to anticipation. If you can anticipate the throwing windows and jump them in a split second, you can make a great play. As you see there, Fancy kind of also, I don't think he ultimately wanted to throw it there because the throw was kind of an inaccurate. That normally means that they not accidentally, but just weren't as confident in the read. And I think it's because he saw Cliff switch it. So here, this is a really good play design by Fancy, one of my favorites. Basically, we're going to block the running back to try to pick up this pressure, anticipating, as you see here with the course, from what we see from the pass protection, the idea is actually not here. The idea of the mic is here. So what probably happens is he half slides, as you see, half slides to the right side. What that's going to do when you half slide, this guy's going to kick out, this guy's going to kick out, and this guy's going to step. And then from there, what you're hoping is this running back will block this guy here, giving you enough protection, especially specifically against the Sin 5, which has been the number one shell that we've seen. Now, the first read is going to be this cheat flat, and essentially we're going to read this guy and really this guy and see if we can hit this. If not, Fancy's eyes are going to pretty much instantaneously snap kind of right in this little picture, and he has a high-low read where he can hit the post route, he can hit this kind of underneath area, and then he can hit, kind of these three pockets. So essentially, what you basically have is you can hit the in route there, you're going to hit the drag route kind of right here, and you're going to hit this post. So you have kind of a triangular read over the middle of the field. So as you can see here, we're going to get this snap, and you're going to see there's the half slide. So you see here on the right side, the half slide is able to block here. This cross block ID pox that. And then on the outside, from a coverage perspective, you basically get the standard thing that we've seen all game. You get the hook curl, you get the quarters, and then you get the user in the middle of the field. And once that tight end releases like that, obviously he doesn't have to user bump that. So you see here that the throw is here, but Clef sees that and does a really good job of switch sticking and kind of just dragging this guy down in a position. He knows he's going to have these two hook curls that are going to do a really good job of taking these underneath throwing lanes away. And so, Fancy obviously getting pressured here. Good. So he switch sticks there. Then he goes to here to kind of take that away. And then now all he really has to do, really should have thrown that. But it's a hard throw. And it's also Rob Gronkowski, who's like 6'7". And so you see he throws that. And again, why did he bend that so much? He bent that so much because of Gronkowski. And it's just a tight throwing window, kind of gets that overthrow. And Clef's able to get the stop on the first possession. So a lot that we learned from that drive, hopefully, and one of the biggest things being the fact that these guys are primarily Clef primarily playing a cover 2 base, basically DB fire. If you look at the coverage within a DB fire, that's kind of basically what Clef's doing, and then he's just manually bumping the tight end. So kind of really interesting. Now, Fancy, this is Fancy's best time of the year. He's going to be running the play. So I'm actually going to get the play for you. so that I make sure that I actually know what it is. Fancy's in, I believe, the Houston Texans defensive playbook, and he is going to be running the defense strong safety zone blitz. And the reason for that is because of this blitz angle right here. This blitz angle is going to cross into kind of this perfect gap right here. And essentially, this is going to be his core coverage shell right here. He's got cover four, basically. These are outside thirds on the outside, but essentially he's going to consistently quarter this guy, and then he's going to shade down. He's going to make this hard flats. So you see here, he gets on his user, he makes the hard flats. Now, why does Fancy move over here? He can shoot the run when you move that guy out. And then the other thing is, you'll see kind of how this goes. So on the cleft side of things, you're going to get really some very simple passing, primarily horizontal, which I think is again one of the big discoveries that this is actually going to apply to Madden 26 and CFB. Is you're going to get this horizontal stretch that he's going to consistently hit. So you'll see here, he goes to spacing switch. This is like a glitched flat route. It's one of the best flat routes in the game. If you pair that with like a drag or a slant, notice this hard flat can't really get out there properly, and Clef's able just to kind of give himself a layup throw on the first play of the game. And again, this is really, Fancy's coming off of, current back-to-back belt wins. Coming into this event, I don't think he made the third event, but then obviously back right here with this, and this is really Clef's main. This is Clef's main thing here. So take a look at what's going to happen again here. Notice what Fancy does now. Really, really interesting. He now goes to cover four quarters, which is within his defense. What his cover four quarters plan here is he's going to middle third this guy. This is match coverage on this left-hand side. And then he's going to put a hard flat again for this table route. Clef is going to now show his kind of main play he wants to run, which is basically bench pivot, and looks kind of something like that. Fancy's users all the way over here. This throw is really going to be wide open for Clef consistently. It's one of the best routes in the game. And another thing that Clef is going to do, pretty standard from him, is he's going to constantly have his bunch to the wide side of the field, kind of which gives, this nice little pocket out of the right side. So again, here, you're going to see bench pivot. So you see this throw right here is kind of the main throw that he wants to hit, because most people aren't going to put a yellow zone. They're going to put this third so that they can switch stick to like a post or a crosser. And so you're going to see here, he hits it right where he wants to hit it, and then he's going to turn up field and get 5 yards. Clef is going to do a really, really good job of taking his underneath. Little zero chill plug there for the promo. And now we're going to see Fancy's going to get a little adjusty early here. Let's see if we can take a look at it, because it's actually going to show us, which we don't see that much in MCS events. So Fancy understands that one of the routes that Clef wants to hit is this little table route to the running back off a spacing switch. Now, the bench pivot table route that he's hot routing is not the same as the spacing switch table route that he has built into the play. The spacing switch table route, which is what he's setting up defense for right here, you have to hard flat from the outside. If you hard flat from the slot corner, the momentum in this game, the way it moves, he's not going to play the route. So you're going to see here, he has this hard flat that he wants to play the spacing switch route, and then he has this cross man here. This is like super adjusted. You really don't see Fancy get this adjusty, but he does so super early in this game. He actually puts the blitzing safety in a man assignment, and then he vert hooks here. So he's going to take away the throwing window here. He's also going to take away this. He's trying to basically really take away kind of this underneath section of the field that Clef wants to hit, and force him to have to throw really this crosser. So we'll see anyway what Clef does here. So again, here we go. And what you see is you get bench pivot again. And what's crazy is Clef actually hits this window because Fancy's vert hooks, his hooks are not on 5, they're on default, so that he can run match concepts. And so you're going to see this vert hook kind of fan out a little bit more to the numbers and a little bit more back. And so Clef just takes this real quick check down underneath. And these guys all have mid-zone KO, but he just makes that catch in the perfect window. And there you see right there, Fancy immediately goes into his hook curls and he puts these hooks on 5 to try to prevent that throw. So here we go, big situation. Clef quick hikes, and he's going to quick hike Vert's halfback under. One of the things that Clef's going to do is he's going to try to catch you in these bad coverages in key moments, 3rd and inches. Obviously understands Fancy might be selling out. So he goes to Vert's halfback under like this. And then on this upside here, you're going to get a streak. You're going to get that crosser, and then you're going to get a fade over here. So essentially what you have is kind of this underneath mesh action. So you see here, from Fancy, you get the send 4, and then you get the vert hook here. And basically, this is a cloud. This is quarter, third. I think that this is an outside third here, but he clouds and vert hooks here, and then he actually switch sticks onto the flat defender and probably going to try to jump this tight end route. We'll see what Clef's able to hit here. He actually kind of catches Clef in a bad play and does a really good job of, he gets him to the flat, and then he actually switch sticks up to this third to take the crosser. And then now the throw really is going to be here, but that is a super tight window for Clef to hit. And actually a really nice switch stick back to this yellow. He's now going to run this down at the quarterback, and kind of a lot going on. This is a throw, but the way he kind of turned upfield wasn't perfect. And Clef's just going to scamper with Mayfield and be able to get the first down. Again, so much is going on in this game. And this right here, we're going to actually see, he's going to show us the shell that he's primarily running. As you see here, you get a quarter, you get the hard flat here. This, honestly, one of the things I love to do against Bunch is actually deep half this. And because if you do that, if they run verts, this deep half's wildly good. But anyway, you're just getting the third. So it's SS Mike cross, you quarter, vert hook, and then Fancy soft squats a lot. So the reason Fancy is going to soft squat in this situation, he's actually going to go back to match coverage. One of the plays that a lot of bunch guys really like would be something like this. If you get this setup right here, this soft squat will actually match to that and take that away. But if you get like a flat, he'll take the flat, and then you can switch to the vert hook or something of that nature. So anyway, so we see here from Clef now, he's going to go with another play. And what's interesting is Clef's actually shown us like his 5 main play calls, the first 5 plays in the game. So he's going to go with corner divide or smash or bench pivot. So bench pivot has the running back blocking stock. It could be corner divide, it could be bench pivot. What you have though is you have this little underneath out route, and then you have a hot routed corner from bench pivot or corner divide, and then you have this backside dig. So essentially what Clef is banking on is that this soft squat will actually bite here, leaving this big throwing window here. So Fancy's going to have to switch stick to this guy who's an inside quarter take over here, which is then going to potentially either leave the streak or this in route in these little windows here. So again, a lot going on here, but you kind of see, he gets the pressure picked up. And there you see there's a switch stick onto that middle third to get him to the streak. And then Fancy's going to eventually switch stick here and take the corner. So you see there's a switch stick there. And you kind of see, how he's defending this. And the beauty of this is this backside, what is that zone? Oh, yeah. Yeah, his user is in a backside 3 rec. So watch what the 3 rec does. You'll see here, he kind of looks for work backside. I'd like to see a mid-read. But the 3 rec's fine, whatever. Anyway, you see switch sticks to the corner. At this point, Clef getting shedded. And Clef's going to take a big, big sack on 2nd and 10. When you get sacked in Madden 25, especially where Clef's at on the field, and you saw right there that Fancy's vert hooks were on 5, which is why that soft squat didn't match to the corner or didn't play as aggressive. And you see here kind of some deeper defense. I actually like to see this kind of stuff. It's just kind of interesting to me. So take a look here. You're going to get cloud flats on the outside from Fancy. You're going to basically get that cover 4. But what he does is he mans his user up to the tight end, probably into switch stick to this guy right here, so that he can lurk any kind of crosser. He's probably anticipating verticals, and he actually is going to get it. You're going to see here he's going to get verts, kind of standard verts with the tight end, and then you get the running back streak. So essentially what Fancy's able to do with this, because he manned this tight end up, he'll take away that route right there. The cover 4 will take that away. And then you basically have a crosser running into the running back, which Really, really nice defense from Fancy because he was pretty much able to defend two players with one defender on that left hand side there, and then you're going to get a fourth down. So, really good defense from Fancy. His first drive, we saw good defense from Clef, and a lot to be learned from how these guys are playing the game. So here we go again. Again, Fancy's core philosophy offensively, from what I understand, is when you see, something like this kind of defense where they're going to blitz you a lot. I think he really likes to block his tight end, kind of do a setup like this, and we'll see it right here. So he actually goes with that motion angle wheel. Again, you have this good little high-low on this 2-on-2, and then on the right-hand side, you're going to have this post that can pop against man, and then a running back out. Again, one of the interesting things to me about this game is we really haven't seen Clef play a lot of man coverage. It's pretty much been cover two every time, just from a man coverage look. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we're going to go with the cloud, as you see right there. And then one of the really cool things that I think Clef is doing, this is like a huge thing for how this game plays this year. He's mid-reading this left side guy some. So this is a mid-read. What that does is let's say that Fancy ran like a streak here. This mid-read would play that. But really the other thing is this post. Watch this mid-read just take this post. And again, Clef is primarily focused in here. And then if the tight end does block, then it really limits the routes that you can run because you can pretty much only run a drag post, which is what you'll see here. So take a look at Clef's user. So again, these are dead off rip. We already know the speed outs are not going to be there. Here, this looks to me to be more of a deep half, and then you get this kind of pole runner, and that's that mid read as you see him kind of turn and run. And Fancy does a really good job, honestly, of just kind of quickly identifying that's not open. I'm going to take that right there, and a really nice disciplined read, and able to, get, fit several yards in that situation. There's that dive again. Pretty much what you could do is in this game, you could, at this point in the year, you could do that dive on conservative, and that's what he was doing. Another thing that Clef is doing from a show blitz look is to believe that he's hitting triangle and right trigger, which kind of like does some weird alignment stuff, but basically what it does is it backs off the outside corners so that he can run these soft squats and things like that. So anyway, here we're going to get kind of some mix-ups here, but basically, again, the same type of deal. You're going to get a block tight end. So you see block tight end. Clef is not sending 6. He's sending 5 consistently because this forces some pass protection. Anyway, once again, you basically see, again, identical coverage from Clef, pretty much identical concept from Fancy. The main difference is this crosser, because this crosser kind of gets in the soft spot a little bit better against cover 2. Notice how these guys are fanning out a little bit more. That's because I believe they're in deep halves, at least on the right side. That's what kind of fans out that whole shot right there, which Clef's user has to guard. As you see, his user has to guard that, but this was the throw he hit last time. He switched sticks to it, and now, as you see, because of the pressure and because he kind of topped that route for just enough time, you're going to get, you see both speed outs, though, completely dead. And this is how Clef kind of set this like cover 2 tight meta pretty early on. And anywho, really, really good defense. So here you're going to get a 5-out play from Fancy. Again, you have to mix this in. That same blitz. And again, really from Clef, this is fairly straightforward. I mean, it's cover 2, and now he's going to click on the hooker. Check this out. He's going to hook curl. He's going to lurk the flat route. And again, this is the story of this game. This is how this game kind of played out. He now lurks the flat route right there and just takes it. Again, really interesting, fascinating ways that in which he's playing defense. So here we get a 3rd and 9. And again, if I'm Clef, and this is probably Fancy's favorite play in the game. It's Y sail, it's a quick hike play, and you just drag CD and you have this streak. And basically, you can fit this tight end streak in against almost anything. It pretty much has to be user guarded. So just kind of picture this, and we'll actually show it. You see how this is open right here? Like it's open right quickly. But what had happened in the last drive? The last drive, Clef had been on this guy every single time, and he had been usering right here, and he had been manually pressing him. Now, that being said, Fancy sees that his user's over here, and so he's actually going to try to fit this in, but where does he have to fit it in? He can't throw it outside. He has to throw it to the inside, and Lloyd is just big enough. If Fancy's patient, this will be wide open right here, and he can take that check down and probably get a first down. But this is his favorite play. He wants to hit the seams. It's really open, and you see here Fancy make a big mistake, throw an interception to Clef. And again, guys, it's so hard to put into words like how interesting this is to me, because this is the best player in the world. This is a top level player. A lot of people said that, and I would say too, that we just witnessed the best MCS season ever by Fancy. And here he is struggling to basically beat cover two. Like struggling. Obviously, Clef's usering behind it, disguising, but I think about 80% of the game, we've seen pretty much the same coverage, at least so far. And so, anyway, throws right at Fancy's face. He gets the pick, and that's a huge stop. That's a huge stop for Clef, because that's his second stop of the game. He's stopped the number one player in the world twice, and the first two possessions, and now he has an opportunity to go score. So, again, here's a little replay. Again, look at that. There's that mid-read. So really interesting why he had a mid-read on the left as opposed to the right as well. Kind of just interesting why his user was even over there to begin with, though. Why was he over here? I don't know. I think because Clef was anticipating that play, maybe. I don't know. This is totally him, like, because Fancy can see his user. This is 100% why Fancy is going to throw this, because he sees his users over here. And basically the read is if this defender, kind of goes over here like he does, you're going to throw that seam streak every time. It's just, look at how late, like basically you would snap and you would throw this right here, and he's just a little half second late. And Clef makes him pay for that. So here we go again. Now, kind of a really interesting deal from Fancy here with this vertical hook. Clef has had a flat route all time. What I think he's doing that for is to switch stick to it to maybe defend it himself. And then on this left side, you're getting his basic cover four defense that he loves so much. And then probably hook curling his user. At this point, he might have his hooks on 5. Might still have those on 5. Anyway, as you see here, you get kind of a spacing switch setup where this flat route is going to be open. So Fancy, as you see, he switch sticks, but he takes this. It's a great read from Clef on a straight up switch stick by the player that we all know has the best switch stick in Madden 25. It's really what's made him so good. Clef able to just pepper him in the flat. Here's Ben's pivot. And we'll take a look at this. Again, this is what we got. Quarter, we got cloud or soft squat, we got vert hook. And then on this right side, you just get a flat. And basically what has to happen is Fancy's user has to chase this tight end drag route. And then really, he should switch stick here and take the in route, basically. It's kind of how it should play out. So this throw, you can throw it, but it's super tight. Good defense by Fancy. Kind of got him in the right play call there. And that's really the defense that you're going to see. And he in this situation, 2nd and 16, he puts his hooks back on default. He has full plethora of match coverages here. And Clef's going to do a good job of peppering. So Clef goes back to bench pivot again. Another real underrated thing to me when you watch some of these games is when they call the changeup, right? Pretty much everybody has kind of their power play or their fastball. They have their counter play or their curveball. And then they have their kind of changeup plays that, they're going to kind of pop you situationally. Here, we're going to get this defense from Fancy that is really just basic. See if we can see it. It essentially appears like he's trying to run the same defense. The problem is he took the hooks off of 5, and so this vert hook's going to drop back up, and then this is probably a cloud. So you see how far back it drops? Over here, you pretty much get the same thing, right? But I think Fancy's like, let me get you in a 3rd and 5. So he's kind of playing a little bit more bend but don't break defense. And you see Clef just wisely, just robotically take this quick flat, right? And he's going to get a nice catch. And there he turns a 2nd and 16 into a 3rd and 6, right? That's huge. All right, so here we go, 3rd and 6. Now we have kind of a manageable situation. Let me actually back this up. It's kind of a big down in the game and see what Fancy does. Does he put his hooks on 5? He doesn't. I don't think he did there. So his hooks are going to be on default. So he might mix. Again, part of that is you're trying to anticipate what Clef's going to do. And so Clef here goes to corner divide, which, why does Clef go to corner divide? Because Fancy's consistently been calling cover 2 to that bunch side. So this is kind of Clef's cover 2 beater, his changeup, and you're going to see just enough pressure here. And I love this switch stick from Fancy. This is actually a super high level thing to do against bunch. This middle third is going to really struggle to kind of get back here. But if you run him back yourself, you can kind of turn him around, and then you can switch stick from the middle third back to whatever you want to guard. So in this defense here, I don't know if it's going to actually show. Yeah, you get this kind of coverage look. I don't know why we seam flat over here, though. I'm not sure. Because, look, it actually is. I'm almost positive that might be a seam flat. Kind of flatted out, though. But anyway, what Fancy's going to do is he's going to switch stick. Against a play like this, you're typically going to get a switch stick here, and you're going to run him up the middle so that he stops the streak. And then you're going to switch stick over, and then you're going to run him out to the corner. Normally is how this is going to be played. So you see there's a switch stick. So he runs him to the middle of the field. And then really the thing is, Fancy bites here. Why does he bite here? Primarily because it's 3rd and 6. If it's 2nd and 10, he's going to stay disciplined and stay on top of that route. But he bites on the in route. And you see here, and Fancy does this sometimes. Oh, and Clef totally missed an easy pop right here. I just don't love that read from Clef. He probably threw that because he was getting pressured, though. He did get the pressure. And maybe Fancy stayed down like that because he saw his blitz coming in. That could be a thing, too. But essentially, take a look at how this kind of plays out. And basically here, Clef throws right at him. Right here. I mean, again, I love slowing it down because it makes me a lot better passer. Obviously, Clef's reading that in the moment. But he misses a read right there. And again, as much success as Clef had this tournament, especially offensively, Fancy has held him to 2 field goals when Fancy has gotten stopped. So Clef wisely settles for another field goal, primarily probably because he gets ball at half. And now we're going to see back to Fancy's offense. So again, the main coverage show that we've been getting from Clef consistently is basically cover 2 with some type of hook or mid-read, and some type of manual press here. Normally getting a sim 5. So Clef is going to, or Fancy's going to go to cheat flat post, and really probably going to try to start hitting this tight end flat. So you get this fade. The whole purpose of this fade here is if this is a cloud, he's going to have to kind of back up to defend the fade in the corner, and Fancy can kind of just pepper over here with the flat. So you see here on the left side, Clef breaks tendency in drops. He sends 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still cover 2. What I would assume happened is Clef drops this guy in a hard flat once he saw that cheat flat motion. So he kind of takes that tight end away, and then he takes it away for a second, and then he switch sticks back, and he's running work over here to the post. The Yellow Zones did not do their job over the middle of the field, though. And Fancy's going to break it out of there for a touchdown. So let's take a look here. So again, you're getting this. I don't know for sure what this was. I think it might be a man up on the running back. But basically, Clef kind of broke his coverage integrity by taking this yellow all the way over here. And so what you're going to see here, and again, this is a complete tendency breaker, though, because he thirds or quarters, and this hook curl is just over out of the way. Like that's got to Fancy just made a good play. And then this is what's always interesting to me when you watch a game like this. What turns a good play into a great play? Poor tackling. We got 1, 2, 3 potential chances and just not able to make a tackle. And Fancy's able to get out and get 7 and get in front of the game, even though Clef has had 2 stops. Fancy's able to get in front of the game. And it's kind of a crazy first quarter. And again, this is the quarterfinal or divisional matchup in this bracket. So this is, I want to say this is the Elite Eight, right? The round of 8. So, anyhow. All right, so 1st and 10 for Clef. And now we're going to get back with Fancy's defense here. And again, you're seeing, kind of starting to see, like, what I love about these breakdowns, when you really break the tape down and you can actually see what they're doing and try to understand why they're doing it. One of the things that becomes clear is they normally play really simple, especially this year's game. As you see, you're consistently getting the same coverage from Fancy over and over again, which is quarter, vert hook, cloud, third, flat, and then the lurk over the middle of the field. So you see that again here. You see the send 4. And guess what Clef throws? Because, again, we talked about this. I want to point this out. What I love about this game, too, that we see it from this perspective, is we see Fancy's adjustments. So, again, as you can see on your visual here, this is a hard flat zone, and this is spacing switch. So you see this little slant is going to pull this hard flat in just enough, and this table is so fast, it kind of just swaps it. So you see how he takes that step inside right there? See how he took that little step? And then that throw is right there. That is a ridiculously hard play to stop. And Clef doesn't call it a ton. He calls it maybe once a drive, but he calls bench pivot a lot more where the flat actually stops it. So, anywho, pretty much same mirror coverage from Fancy. And this time you're going to get streak, flat, corner. So Clef is now starting to target here because he's starting to pick up on that tendency on the left side. So here, Fancy messes up, in my opinion. I think he might have been just a little late in recognizing the play, but really the switch stick needs to go to here, and we're going to lurk here. But he's going to bluff what Fancy does, which is interesting. He's going to bluff like he's going to go to the corner and then recover here. So he kind of midpoints it perfectly in a situation where he's a little late. And so you see here, he kind of midpoints it. See how he kind of bluffed it and then clicked off. And I think what he was actually trying to do, now that I look at it a little closer, is he was trying to bluff it and then switch here because he knew the throw was going to go there. And basically, as you see for Clef, he situationally read, oh, he's here, he's taking that. That means that's open. And it's not. As you see, Fancy kind of bluffs him. And it's a great play. It's a really nice play from Fancy and able to get the interception. And that's kind of what we've seen Fancy do, right? Had something open. He was able to bait you into throwing that streak. But then we get this. So we talk about, kind of the way this game has gone is kind of interesting. So we see here, watch Fancy's pocket, by the way, on this play. And again, these are the best players in the world. These are the best players in the world. And take a look at this. As you can see, we get a send 5. If you step up here, you probably have more time. Fancy steps back, which allows this guy to kind of disengage, and then he's going to roll right, as you see here. So already, and by the way, once again, cover 2 killed that, cover 2 killed that, and the user's lurking here. There's really nowhere to throw the ball anyway. So what Fancy's probably trying to do here is he's probably just trying to throw this away. As you see here, pretty sure he's trying to throw that away. And in the process, he just doesn't get it out fast enough, and it's a huge mistake on Fancy's side. After he just got in front of the game, he ends up giving Clef free touchdown on a D-line pick simply because of bad pocket and trying to kind of roll away and throwing the ball just a little bit too late. If he throws, and there's really nothing, honestly, I will say this, though, like the way the game kind of plays, when you roll, like right here, see how he rolls and he kind of like stutters? That allows that angle to be able to get you a little quicker. So he almost couldn't have thrown the ball away. The very fact that he tried to throw the ball away led to a defensive line interception and a pick 6 for Clef. Pretty much everybody on the field has lurk artists in this game. And so really unfortunate for Fancy. Ultimately, it comes down to kind of bad pocket in that situation. And that rollout, he just couldn't get away from it. Baker Mayfield doesn't have that kind of speed. So Fancy's going to try to reset, go back to his core strategy against this defense. Notice how, again, this is kind of one of his mainstay plays. He's going to go to the motion out here. He normally would run the ball here, but he is going to pass. And what's really interesting is you watch this game back, there's a speed out every time. And this is just how systematic Fancy is. It's always a speed out. So you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quarter, quarter. This time Clef kind of drops this guy over in this area to kind of play this a little bit, and then he can lurk here, and the throw needs to go right there right now, or over top. And Fancy's got plenty of time, able to deliver a nice ball to Zay Flowers, and that's kind of his core play, right? All right, so on this first and now, I'm going to say 3 interceptions. I don't think he threw 3 interceptions yet. Or yeah, did he? Yeah, he did actually at this point. Okay, it's just the other 2 were on 4th downs. So now Fancy's starting to basically try to really hit this cover 2. So you see a different setup than we really ever see Fancy run. It's Y sail, but now we're going to streak this guy and drag. So what's the purpose of that play? Really what Fancy's probably trying to accomplish here is, let's say this is a mid-read, he'll go there, or basically he's just going to high-low that yellow zone and try to hit that drag there. Or if this is a soft squat, he can hit that quarter area on the left side. So you'll see what Clef ends up doing defensively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that right side guy's kind of more in a flat. He's like way out there. I think that's a hard flat or a curl flat that he was using. So now, because of the streak, this guy's just going to keep running, and this drag is going to get open right in that little pocket. Here we see the manual bump, right? And then the switch stick onto the flat defender to take the running back. This quarter now can easily play that because he doesn't have a conflict player. As you see, he's getting pressured. Makes the right read. Just gets just enough pressure. And he can't hit it. Another little thing about what just happened on your screen is Fancy did... why was this inside quarter able to play this? Fancy does not normally run this play. Notice where the tight end is at. See how the tight end is on the short side of the field? That is a big, big no-no for this concept. And the other element of this is, however, deep half, if this actually cleared, if this was a deep half, then this would actually play more inside because of where it's at. So again, just kind of interesting. You don't normally see Fancy run that play on that hash. Normally you don't see him run the offense on that hash. And as you see here, he goes back to tight end wide side like so. So now Fancy starts to go to this kind of stuff. So the purpose of this play is we got this cheat slot fade, but the thing that Clef is doing that most people don't remember, this guy, he's normally here. He's not normally out here. So him being out there, he can play that a little better than he can otherwise. So you're going to get kind of a manual bump here more than likely, and then he's sending 5 into the pattern. So we'll see kind of how this plays out. Now we get a running back streak. And again, why running a running back streak here? It's kind of interesting to me just to think about why would he do that. Here you see send 5, and then take a look here. You get the manual bump. Watch this guy guard 2 players, and then you have Cloud on this outside. And then I'm not 100% sure what you get here, but basically Fancy does a good job of getting the ball out quick. He is getting pressured, and so he gets the ball out quick to his check down on a flat. I don't know if this was an outside third or a Cloud. I want to say it was Cloud. And then he quartered on that left side. Anyway, Fancy checks down again and takes 7-ish yards. All right, so big down now, another 3rd down. Going to go back to that play. This has been his bread and butter play, this motion out right here, this exact setup. He's ran probably 7 times, at least 5 times in this game. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you're running a speed out right into a cloud flat, running a speed out right into a cloud flat, or soft squat, whatever it is. But these are designed to take this away. And then right here, basically Fancy gets what he wants, though, because he gets this underneath hook curl. I don't love that underneath hook curl. I feel like I also don't love Clef not being on the tight end side. This hook curl would play a lot better here, kind of based on how the game was going. But anyway, that being said, you see Clef's user is basically in no man's land, but he does a really good job because his user's in a hook curl. So he switch sticks to this zone, and he's just going to bite on that post And we see him do it there, but he doesn't get it done. And Fancy gets another big play and a big moment. This was basically the exact touchdown. Again, one of the interesting things to me is watch Clef switch here. So when he switches to this, watch the movement right there. See how he kind of bit and then he recovered. I don't know why, because this has been a speed out every single time. If he just straight up bites, he probably makes the play on the ball, but he doesn't. And so Fancy's going to get a red zone possession, gets the ball inside the 3. This is the hardest, one of the harder places to score. Here's a little red zone combo going for those whips. And Left does a nice job here of just sends everybody. Basically just, man up, send everybody. Clef doesn't do that a lot in this game. It's a lot of that send 5. But here, send 6, amps up the pressure a little bit. And when you can force, when you go from 2nd and 2 back to first and 2-ish to second down and long like that, that really changes the dynamic. It really changes what you can call from Fancy's perspective. And so now you kind of have to pass. So now you'll see Clef 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is his red zone defense. It's send the crib. But here you get kind of some soft squats and quarter zones with the lurk here. So Fancy does a right read here, hits the flat. And then now it's just about making tackles, right? Just about making tackles. He makes a nice tackle there. Now we get a 3rd and 6, and this is got to have it down for Fancy. And we'll see what happens here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sends everybody here. And then again, you basically get the same coverage. The difference here is Clef actually is going to send 7. So it appears to me like a hook curl. He has these soft squats right on the goal line or clouds or whatever, but they're on the goal line. And then this is a yellow, but he's using here. So the throw is probably here. He's going to get pinned where he's using there and there. But because he sent 7, as you see here, he's going to get a little bit more pressure. So Fancy, you see, that's not a seam streak. It's an in route, so he can't throw that. So he force feeds this zig and gets a nice Clef gets a nice KO on a mid zone. So now we have 4th and goal. Fancy's going to take his 3 here. Kind of a tough spot, but does take his 3. And Clef's going to get the ball back with 3 minutes left in the second quarter. And a lot of really good stuff so far in this game. Just kind of really diving deep into the adjustments and just kind of seeing this. This was my favorite game of the year. This was literally my favorite game of the or not my I don't know if my favorite game of the year, but it's just the first time we saw Fancy kind of get. Oh no! It's just first time we saw Fancy really not be able to move as well as normal. All right, so here we go. Little cover 3 action here on his left side, just kind of standard Fancy cover 4, and gonna get a little pressure there, and that's gonna bring him a 2nd down and 10. Notice his hooks are on default, so he has match coverage capabilities here. Middle 3rd, quarter, and then looks like vert hook cloud on the left side. So he's kind of basically going between those 2 coverage shells against one of the best players in the world. So. And the ultimate winner of this tournament. Here, I feel like that vert hook really got manipulated. So here, let's take a look at does he run this wide side? He does. This bench pivot, I don't know what that zone is, because that is, maybe Fancy didn't shade his yellow zones inside. That's kind of a normal thing you do. But that vert hook played way outside, so I don't know if he shaded outside on accident or what happened on that. But this is the adjustments. We've seen this all game. Here you're going to get a spacing switch call, take that table route. And Clef really hasn't tried to kill that deep stuff. He's really just underneath. Really hasn't tried to exploit him too much over top. And really the one time he kind of had it, he missed the read. Here's standard cover 4. There's that spacing switch and a key down. Another thing Clef's trying to do here, part of the reason for the more horizontal plays as well, is he's trying to take this clock. So you're seeing him snap the ball like late in the clock. Here, this time he doesn't make the same mistake twice. So remember, on the interception that Clef threw, right, again, the read really is for Fancy. He needs to go here, and then onto this guy to the corner. But what he ends up doing is, and he does here. So he goes here, that's bagged. But This is like Fancy has to get off of this faster, and he has to top that route, and he just can't quite get there. And he's trying to, as you see, he's just a step behind, and Clef is gonna pop him right there. Super tight window, able to make that catch and able to get that touchdown. And now you got a 20-10 ball game, 10-point ball game, and there's a little replay of it. But Fancy now down 10. And I believe Clef gets ball at half. So this is a big possession for Fancy. Really needs at least 3 here. Got Slim doing some giveaways. There you go. Let's take a look at what we get here. So now you get a streak in a corner. So now, okay, so now take a look at what's happening here on this right side. Now you're going to get this little back and forth, hoping that this speed out's going to hold this. Again, one of the big problems is Fancy has the ball in the middle of the field. So because of that, there's not enough space for this corner to get over a cloud like it normally would. So you see here, watch this guy able to be mid-pointing. Fancy, look how fast he throws that drag. I mean, that's like insta throw right into a mid zone, and he gets 5 yards, but he has to burn a timeout early. So, again, kind of situational. And this is the route that they call against cover 2. So again, notice tight end is now to the wide side. This cheat slot fade is the cover 2 beater. But it doesn't look, and see, it's like Clef knows he's doing that because he really doesn't call this. Like, watch this left side. I truly, it's just interesting because you get everything standard, and then over here you're this. I don't know what that is. If that's is that a soft? I don't think a soft spot can match like that because of this hitch. So I don't know. But anyway, he plays to the vertical. The throw is right here, but he's getting pressured, and so he almost gets sacked. He does throw it away. And if you take a look at his play here, you see right here, he's actually forcing the ball there. I think he might be thrown away, but if you just look at the clip, it looks like he's forcing the ball to the fade. Anywho, 3rd and 5, and he's coming out short-sided a lot and then flipping into wide side. I don't know if that's to try to trick the alignment a little bit. Not sure. Now we're going to get a motion out, and we're going to get that same little back and forth. Here, Clef kind of calls a timeout. Why does he call that? Because his guys flip. And again, I don't know why for sure. I think that might be he has to manually touch the safeties. Not sure. But anyway, you get the same deal coming back. You get a block here. So the problem with this is the block here really kind of limits this because now he can just drive on this, and the switch stick can go here, and you take that corner. So you see how he drives here? So now Fancy's like, okay, I got the throw right here. But because this is a deep half, and again, you see here kind of a roll, right? But because it's a deep half, see how he's able to kind of drive on the ball? And, oh, by the way, we blocked the tight end, and we got insta-pressured on a 3rd and 5. It's a huge pressure from Clef and a huge play. Now we're going to get a 4th and 5. And it's crazy. You actually watch the film back on this. This game, it could have gone so many different ways. A lot of it came down to Fancy trying to pop cover 2 versus just simply hit the underneath. From what I've seen so far in this, but he did pop it a couple times. But anyway, so here we go again. So 4th and 5, biggest play of the game so far. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4. So a situational send 4. Why does he send 4? Because he's going to get an additional player here to pop this guy out because he's anticipating that drag. So as you see, he kind of has the drag covered, double covered. And let's take a look at the play from Fancy. Guess what play it is? It's the play that we've been talking about all game. This is the main play for this. And if you think about it, where's his read? Well, off initials, he's probably going to look here, but really he's kind of getting here. And he's going to get this high-low. And so Cliff does a nice job of adjusting that by dropping this guy. I don't know for sure what he's in. He appears to be in like a curl flat, but I don't know for sure what he's in. Let's just kind of let this thing run a little bit more here. So you see you're reading here. And again, I just don't know for sure what that is. It could be a vert hook. That's to protect the sticks. I don't know. I don't know what it is for sure. But anyways, you get cover 2 on this hop. And then basically what's going to happen is the only route Clef has to guard is here, but then he's got to kind of get back here because this throw is going to come underneath. So see here, right there. And Fancy tries to kind of tight window this, and Clef able to midpoint it and get another interception. It's literally a defensive masterpiece against Norman Wyeth Close. It's crazy to me how good how good of a performance Clef is doing defensively against one of the best offensive players in the world. Fancy has been a top 5 offensive player for the last several years. Just a very, very good all-around player, but especially offensively over the last 5 years. So anyway, a little run play here. Clef going to pop cover 2 again. Now, what I don't love about this is where the game kind of starts to get a little out of hand. So as you see here, Fancy's in that same basic defense, right? This has been the defense pretty much the majority of the game, where we get that cloud, and then we get kind of this vert hook, and then we get a middle third, a deep third, a flat. And when you see this running back block, almost every single time it's this combo from what I've seen so far. So, and again, normally it's here, move him into position, and then hop on this quarter and lurk this corner. But what you see here is he's kind of just stuck. Now, why is he stuck? Because if you notice, he's on Pat Tillman. Clef is really one of the keys to Clef's offense is he's going to snap the ball as fast as possible. And so it makes it hard to adjust, which is partially why you're seeing Fancy the same thing every time. Here, he gets kind of stuck on Pat Tillman. He can't switch stick off. At least it's not very easy. And so he's not really able to switch stick to where he wants to go to. He's all discombobulated, messed up, and really just kind of gives Clef a touchdown before half. And that's going to make this ball game 27-10. And so, yeah, just a huge lapse defensively for him. He just gets caught, right? He's just trying to move him over. He barely got his middle third off. You know, just really unfortunate there. Just kind of got popped in a key situation. All right, so this is like a gotta score. Like you have to score here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, look at this. It's the same every time, man. It's quarters, it's clouds. It's this little yellow zone here. It's this little manual bump. And when he manual bumps, he almost always switches to the cloud on the right. As you see, he switches to cloud on the right. Fancy has to take that, and that's not going to kill Clef whatsoever, right? That you give that up. That's a layup throw for Fancy. But if you're in Clef's shoes, the way this game has kind of gone, you can give that up again and again and again, right? So, because you're going to take it away eventually. So here, Fancy's going to go to PA snag. And why is he doing this? Again, this is just a little thing to me, but he's doing this because he's going to pop cover 2 over the top here, or he's going to be able to check down to that there. The problem is, as you see how this play is designed, where does Fancy normally put the tight end? He normally puts the tight end to the wide side of the field. But in this situation, he's on the short side, and there's not enough space to pop cover 2 on that left. So if you watch here, take a look at this, you're going to see it's a really easy defense. Take a look on the left side. Now, Clef, another thing is Fancy did not put him on a flat. So this soft squat can match to this vertical route pretty easily. I don't know for sure that's what's going on here. He might have just put him on an outside quarter, but the way he's kind of running, it looks to me like a soft squat. And then on the right side here, you kind of get the cloud treatment that we've been getting consistently with what looks to be a deep half, inside quarter over the top of the tight end. And then you get a hook curl. The user probably meant to manually bump him, doesn't. And so, but again, because the tight end is to the short side of the field, this throw really isn't an option because of the hash marks. So as you see, no, that must have been a quarter then. So Clef must have just done quarter, half, kind of mixed that in. But anyway, nice throw. Or just beat the man coverage, right? But nice play by Fancy, able to hit that window. Again, tied into the short side. So seems to be doing it on purpose. I'm not 100% sure why, because I don't know why. Normally, you never see a tight end short corner ran to the short side. And here, you're not able to pick this blitz up, blocked running back. And it's just muddy, man. There's just no options. There's just not really any options on that play. And the show blitz alignment is really getting him. There's a quarter again. Cloud. There's that manual bump. This time he switches to the yellow zone. He's going to give that up on 2nd and 14. And Fancy can take it. He's going to get him into a 3rd and 5. All right, another big down, 3rd and 5, 19 seconds. No timeouts for Fancy, but basically runs that same play. That must be why he's running more cover 3 based stuff. And there he kind of gets screwed. So this throw right here is really good against cover 3, cover 4. He's got this drag, and then he's got this like speed out. So when this is not a cloud, so as you see here, he quarters or thirds, whatever you want to call it. But basically, half, third, hard flat. The hard flat stays down, and this throw really gets in a nice spot against cover 3, cover 4, hard flat. And he just kind of runs the route a little bit poor, honestly. And Fancy hits him, but it just doesn't get his feet in bounds. So now you're in a weird situation where if you're Fancy, I don't know, man. Like, do you take 3 or do you go for it? He takes 3. I feel like ultimately taking 3 is probably the right decision there because he doesn't have any timeouts and because of how good Clef is playing defensively. So, anywho, that being said, we'll see if Clef even calls a play. If I was Clef, I'd take this to half, and he is going to take that to half. A lot happened in that first half, man. A ton happened. We do have a halftime break here as we make sure we're subbed up to Clef's channel or to. We're subbed up to Slim's channel, and he's going to get back to the action. All right, so first down run probably, 2nd and 9. And now Fancy's kind of, this is like do or die for him. So here, I don't know what, and just kind of I don't know, out of position offensively there. And Clef, the way he plays, man, he's just hitting these little pockets, kind of forcing that cover 2. Now Fancy starts dropping this defensive end into a vert hook, which pretty much kills this pressure. Doesn't kill it, but I mean, it's hard. That does play there, but it doesn't play on the inside. And the other key little factor, he does not have mid-zone KO. So I actually got a sack on that, which is crazy. On the Sin 3 for future reference to get your drops. Link your Madden and Twitch. There it is. There it is, boys. All right, so walks over, and here you go. It's just the basic cover 4. It's just now we kind of mixed in this vert hook. Problem with this is you're not going to be able, he has to do it on the bunch side. So he has to kind of do it on the bunch side. As you see, Clef has all day. And kind of roll and just take this underneath stuff. Hits that in route in a nice soft spot. Now we're going to go cover 4, just straight match, just throw something different at him. This is what we call like the slider with the 2-seam fastball, right? Doesn't get thrown a ton, but just trying to get a grounder. Anyway, Clef hits the flat well, 3rd and 8. Now he's going to go, there's a seam flats. Take a look at this. So Clef goes, I don't know what. Oh, this is a play trail. It's actually one of Clef's main plays here, but it's a drag. It's got this little double post trail route right here. And then on the left side here, it has a fade, or he might put a speed out from time to time. So we'll take a look at this. But basically what that does is, because Fancy's user's biting here so much, then he can just kind of pepper right in that little pocket right there. And so as you see here, Fancy's user kind of peels back into the post area, leaving the drag wide open. So a nice little play that really kind of attracts, again, that middle triangle where the user's at. Here, cover 4 quarters again, going to go match on the right side. Nice little run from Clef. Clef's going to mix in a lot more runs here in the second half because he is up 2 possessions. In Clef's mind, if he gets 3, the game is pretty much over, primarily because he got ball at half. So here you see another wide trail play. So what happens is, because we're table route here, then you have a throw that can be thrown here. You have this trail route that technically could be kind of thrown here, but really is going to primarily be thrown there. So you're going to, again, get this kind of middle field triangle that is going to really just attack the spots of cover four. And Fancy actually switched X's perfectly with this middle third. And so a nice little scramble from Clef. Able to, and that's one of the weaknesses is, Fancy's having to do so much from a coverage perspective. It's hard to even, hard to have enough down there for the scramble. So now Fancy gets super aggressive over here. He's going to start trying to shoot that run, manually bump. He does shoot the run well that time. Almost got a fumble probably, but I believe Clef probably could play on conservative. And so we're now 2nd and 11. And let's take a look at this. So this right here. So again, we get a trail play. Notice what Fancy does. He actually bluff blitzes this guy right here. From what it looks like to me, it's a bluff blitz. So the reason that that's effective is the first step the defensive tackle takes. He could be manned up on the tight end, but he takes that first step down. See how he kind of freezes? So in Clef's mind, oh, he blitzed. So this is that pocket. This is that pocket I was talking about where you can hit that there. You'll have the drag there, and then you'll have kind of that triangle, right? But as you see, he kind of bails late. And look where Clef's trying to throw this. He's trying to throw this right in this little window. And he just sneaks it past the defender. And, just kind of one of those things where you drop a defensive end into coverage. Bluff Bliss took a step down. Ball just kind of got popped right by him. All right, so we got cover four again from Fancy. I think Fancy's kind of running out of ideas. And that's going to take us to the fourth. You're really not seeing anything different. I mean, it's just, it comes down to Clef has been able consistently to hit these little pockets against this defense. There, Clef goes to the more run-based attack. You're going to see now Fancy can jump in 6-1, and he's going to take it off baseline. But this is, kind of the last-ditch deal. There's your vert hook, there's your cloud, though it's the same coverage, it's just a different formation, right? But take a look here. That should be the throw. Fancy's trying to get there. As you see, he's here. He's trying to rob that. Not able to, and it's going to force another sack. And good defense from Fancy. Clef didn't want to force anything. 3rd and 8. Again, Clef knows 3 is huge here. He's just got to take as much clock as possible. So he'll take another sack here. He actually, unfortunately, threw it away. But he should be taking his 3. Gets this to 30-13. And now Fancy, this is kind of your last-ditch effort at attacking this defense. We'll see what Clef ends up doing defensively. Probably going to be more of the same shell. And here we go again, middle of the field. Watch that corner. It's not going to be able to get over the top like you want it to. You get this motion out, and you see here, Clef moves these guys back in place. It's not going to call a timeout like he did in the first half. You get this man up, 5-man, throws here. But look, Fancy forcing it into a tight window and hits it, but can't hit it, right? It's open, it's there, but just can't quite get the ball where he wants it to again. And I love this play right here, actually. This is one of my favorite things that Fancy did all game. I wish he would have done it sooner. This is kind of a new way to attack this defense. It's Y sail, and you have this post. So what happens with that post is now you really high-low those yellow zones. So take a look. See, this time we get a send 4. Clef probably just throwing some different things at him here. But basically the same thing, right? Yellow, yellow, cloud, cloud, quarter, and then we got a user kind of on that tight end. So now you just have 2 yellows in the middle of the field. So take a look at how this high-lows the yellows. This is really the throw, or this. But Fancy's trying to pop his coverage. Again, this is another just super big point to me for how you call your plays. He's in the middle of the field. Because he's in the middle of the field, this inside quarter can midpoint these 2 receivers. And just because of that right there, just because of where he's at on the field, this inside quarter is not going to get burned by this guy. He's not really going to get burned by this guy either. You see, he throws right at him, and Clef's going to pick it. And that is Fancy's. I wish it would pop up. I want to say that's his 5th interception of the game. So it's an absolute defensive masterclass by Clef and really staying in a kind of modified version of Tampa 2 using inside quarters in a cent 5 instead of a drop 8. But he's going to be nice close. Notice what Fancy's doing. He's shifting the D line, moving these guys out, trying to blow up the run here. Dolphin dives again, 1st and 10. And this is just going to be clock. And yeah, Clef's definitely going to be on conservative here. Now we're going to get a pass play. Why does he pass in this situation? Primarily just because if he gets a first down, it really, kind of pass against that. And he's going to throw that away. No, he threw it too late. And that was like worst case scenario. So now Clef's 3rd and 8, kind of has to pass. And you see from Fancy pretty much the same thing we've seen all game. It's just this time it's from 6-1. It's a vert hook, gets that, and Clef hits that, but he gets KO'd. So now you're going to get a field goal from Clef again. Now it's a 20-point ball game. No, he did make it. Yeah, okay. All right, so back to Fancy on offense. Again, he's in the middle of the field, so it's going to be hard to hit. And again, you're getting that same idea. Look at this cloud flat able to top, and then the switch stick on top of that forces this throw right here. This is all happening while he's getting hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every single time. And you see he kind of midpoints it well. And it's really just this back and forth with the combination of the pressure and the midpointing with the user. Is really what's going on here. Here we're going to get... I don't know what this is here. Tight end flat. Oh, yeah. I love this play. This is cheap flat post. You got this flat post, streak, drag, and then a running back streak. So this pressure, though, you can't send 5 out against. You have to throw here right now because look how fast this end has just been blowing everything up. Can't get the ball out in time. And that is going to bring up whatever the end of the 2-minute here. So 3rd and 10. We're doing a lot of replays here. I don't know for sure what he was on there to really look at it. I think it's a wheel route. Yeah, I think that was a wheel route. And now we got a 4th and 10. So 4th and 10 here. Again, cover 4 or cover 2. All right, look at that. I mean, it's just a cage. You have to throw that right there. And he's not going to do that. He's going to force that corner route we talked about. And we talked about this a lot in this little film breakdown. But what I want you to see is what I'm trying to say. It's right here. So you get a cloud on 4th and 10, right? So this thing should hold this. But because he's in the middle of the field, when he goes to throw this, as you see, he can't top that. And so because of that, you got the pressure there. He can't get over the top just because of the simple fact he never got in the middle of the field, out of the middle field on those last 2 drives. And I don't know, I would love to see how many interceptions he's thrown. I literally think it might be 6 or 7. Here we go, 6 interceptions. Fancy has thrown 6 interceptions in this game. Actually crazy. This is one of the... It's crazy to really look at the film, too. Like, you kind of see what he was trying to do and just wasn't able to get it done, man. But I do feel like there's just a lot that can be learned about this game from this, because this is the one time on the MCS stage that we really saw Fancy not really have an answer defensively or offensively, right? Just not really have it. And you saw also that he popped it a couple times. He actually had it. It just kind of came down to not being able to execute as much as he would have liked to. So anyway, I'm really, really excited that I that I found this little that I found this video on Slim's channel, uh, completely random, but this really is one of the best games. Even though the score doesn't necessarily indicate that, it's the one time the best player in the world kind of struggled, and the main reason really comes down to a couple things. Ultimately, it was lack of discipline. It was good defensive game plan from Clef. Pretty much the same coverage the whole game. And it really just kind of came down to not being able to attack kind of those key areas against cover two, like you would have wanted to. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is one of my favorite games I've broken down all year. I'll probably watch this back. Thanks for watching the video. And yeah, hope you learned something about the game.